Deep within the west wing of Beast Castle, through a secret door, there existed a being who spent his life focused on expanding his power and controlling Hope, Forte. For Forte's entire life, he felt powerless and unappreciated, but in his new life, under the curse of the Enchantress, he had become a comforting presence for the Beast, allowing him to become extremely influential in his master's life. What Forte supported, though, was not the Beast's humanity. He instead connected with and scorched the flames of the Beast's ego, anger, and hate. So when Christmas begins to be brought back by Belle to unite the castle together and spread joy to all, Forte saw that day and that girl as a threat. Hello, I'm Isaac from Watso Videos, where we discuss fun topics for fun people. I'm focused on spreading the magic of Disney, so to do that today, we're going to be breaking down the story of the grand Christmas villain from Beauty and the Beast, Forte. By the way, if you'd like to learn more about Forte after the video, I've provided all the links to the movies and the resources I used in the description. Beauty and the Beast, The Enchanted Christmas was a movie I remember enjoying a lot on VHS. With Beauty and the Beast being one of my favorite Disney movies and Christmas being one of my favorite holidays, this well-executed direct-to-video midquel was perfect for me. I appreciated a look into a variety of new characters, a natural inclusion of Christmas into the tale, and an expansion of the Beauty and the Beast story. But one of my favorite aspects of this movie is of course its villain, who comes with a unique perspective I hadn't considered before this film. What if an individual preferred their enchanted life over their human one? In Forte's human life, he was a self-taught pianist who rose to become the maestro and court composer of the castle. Forte was a man born with a gift who worked his way to the highest role he could achieve in that art because he obsessed over the art of creating. He adored his music and his melancholy style, but others did not. For all of his work and love of music, he was not recognized, not respected, and put down by the master he respected, making him bitter and angry. His genius had no worth.
Before the enchantment, there was no need for my particular brand of genius.
No piece in his master's honor was appreciated, and he hated dealing with that until everything changed one Christmas Eve. On Christmas Eve, long ago, as the ruler of the castle ungratefully opened his presents, he is visited by an old beggar woman who longed for isolation from the cold. But when the master turns her away, she transforms into an enchantress, deeming his heart blind and cold. Until the boy learned to love another and earn that love in return, he would be forced to exist as a beast, and his castle would remain enchanted and without Christmas. From the magic of the Enchantress, Forte was reconstructed that night into a formidable pipe organ within his master's chambers. Although Forte was another servant who had transformed into a living object, Forte became something more than that. As an organ, Forte had the freedom to constantly experiment, create, evolve, and develop his music like never before, for his music was special. He acquired a form of magic which utilized his music to mold the world around him. Although Forte was unable to freely roam the world as he once had, which forced him to rely on his assistant Fife.
Oh, what's this? Heavens, look! I'm bolted to the wall!
He was now an artist with time to create, and a master who desperately desired an escape from his world. While the Beast had once despised his music and saw Forte as valueless, Forte's depressing and dissonant songs now fed his esteemed master's tormented soul. Forte was soothing the savage Beast with his music, making him someone the Beast needed. No longer did the Beast see the composer as meaningless, but as a bearer of salvation and escape. With this increase in responsibility, Forte was prepared to take advantage of the situation. He desired to solidify himself as a relevant individual for his master. As they spent time together, the master began to trust Forte, pouring out his emotions to his servant, slowly allowing Forte to solidify himself as a close friend, ensuring he was the Beast's closest confidant.
Don't worry, old friend. I'm here for you, just as I have been, just as I always will be.
As the trust between them grew, Forte shaped the Beast's perception to believe that only he could understand the Beast's pain, that only he shared the same feelings of loneliness and being trapped that the Beast had. Slowly, the Beast felt Forte was the only one who could comprehend him, leading to the Beast to trust his friend's insight and perspective over all others. After Forte continuously plays with the Beast's thoughts and comforts him for so long, the Beast eventually is brought to believe he can't live without Forte. And this gives the enchanted being a massive amount of power and respect from his beloved master.
Your music is the only thing that helps me forget.
Now, Forte loved having influence and a relationship with the Beast. He mattered in the Enchanted Castle for he had an impact in this kingdom. Here, his music resonated with a royal, but in times when the Beast focused on other aspects of his life beyond his rage, like a present for Belle, the Beast begins to dismiss Forte and his music, infuriating the enchanted being. After earning this power and bond in the castle, he desperately clung to it. Forte feared returning to a life of insignificance as he had once experienced, and he never wanted to go back to living a futile existence as a human.
Trust me, Fife. Humanity is entirely overrated.
Because of Forte and the Beast's strong relationship, when the Beast came to Forte with his grievances and struggles, Forte was not asked but expected to provide his thoughts on the issue. But Forte was granting advice under the belief their lives were better under the enchantment. Forte believed he and the Beast were happier alone, supporting one another, with Forte creating music for him. With this frame of mind, Forte was desperate for his venerated master to give up his hope of love and living a future as a human. I can understand Forte's perspective. He wants to preserve what is making himself happy, but by dismissing what his master desires, Forte is showing he doesn't respect the Beast. Forte cares more about his influence and being in this friendship with the Beast more than the Beast himself. After years of preserving their situation in the castle though, Belle's inclusion into their world begins to alter Forte and the Beast's life, especially when Belle begins to get close to the Beast and plans a Christmas celebration. But Forte is determined to end these plans. Forte saw her as evil and someone who was filling his master's head with unobtainable delusions. So when the Beast wonders whether Belle was creating Christmas to intentionally remind him of his tragedy, Forte insists she doesn't care about him like he does and that she's attempting to cause him pain. No matter what Forte states though, the Beast continues to get caught up in the holiday, so he realizes he must end Christmas at its source. Determined to end the madness of Christmas, he lures Belle to the West Wing and convinces her to venture out into the Black Forest for a grand Christmas tree, for that was the Beast's favorite part of the holiday. Forte plays on her hopes of creating a magical day for the Beast. She could remain selfish like the Beast has been doing, or she could be selfless and go against her better judgment to get that tree.
It looks dangerous.
Mademoiselle, you are in more danger in this very room, I assure you.
Belle decides to do what she believes will create the best Christmas, so she leaves to venture to the Black Forest, and when the Beast finds out she has left, he is furious. Before he can leave to go after her though, Forte lures the Beast back to him, for he desires Belle to fade away. Forte suggests he let her go, so he doesn't have to be tangled into some deadly game that is a waste of time. Instead of pursuing Belle, the Beast should love himself, become detached, and preserve his wild heart. Forte's influence had been reduced with Belle's presence though, and even with all of Forte's convincing, the Beast goes after Belle and rescues her from an icy demise. But the Beast doesn't know how to deal with Belle anymore.
Things were so much simpler before she came along, before we dared to hope.
Forte explains he doesn't understand why his master suffers and torments himself. If his beloved master could just decide to accept who he is, the pain would go away forever.
There's the symbol of your curse. Destroy it and end these adolescent notions of love and redemption.
For a moment, the Beast almost submits to Forte's suggestions. He almost gives up on himself and his longing to find true happiness, but when he looks to Belle's Christmas present, he's reminded someone does care for him and he can continue to have hope. Though the Beast finds peace for now, Forte does not. He loves the entity he is and refuses to allow even the Beast to undermine him.
Enchantment lifted, and Forte fades into the background. No longer important. No longer needed.
I think not.
Forte begins to aggressively play music, breaking down the castle, determined to destroy the couple who could undo his life. He is ready to remain this way forever.
They can't fall in love if they're dead.
The Beast goes to stop his friend, but Forte refuses, lashing out against him with his magical music. Forte believes he is at the peak of his power, relentlessly laughing at his victory. He thinks he cannot be stopped, but when the Beast removes his keyboard, he desperately attempts to keep playing, ripping himself from the wall and crumbling beneath his own weight, destroying his soul. Forte was an entity who desired to be respected, praised, and needed. He longed to remain relevant and possess a meaningful role in the world, and he believed he could achieve that by watching over and assisting his master. Once he gained that power, though, he was unwilling to let it go, determined to keep his control and relationship with the Beast intact. While Belle began to bring back Christmas, this enchanted being did everything he could to keep the curse in place. He manipulated everyone around him and fought furiously to keep his power, but even though Forte never saw it, the curse would eventually be lifted, and Christmas would come. First off, fun people, I'd like to thank the magical patrons over on Patreon who donate to the channel and go above and beyond to support my mission of spreading magic. And second off, thank you for checking out this Beauty and the Beast video. If you have a lot of fun with me here on YouTube, then please click that subscribe button and make sure to go check me out on Instagram and Twitter at WatsoVideos so we can continue to discuss Disney all the time and so you can always be surrounded by this magical community. If you'd like to see more Watso videos, then check out some awesome pics over here. And finally, have a magical day.